evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series presented by AllStar Visuals, Oceanic Dirt Sim Racing Events, and SpeedShop51.com. Tonight we bring you coverage of Round 10 live from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte in Concord, North Carolina. Glad to have you along for the ride tonight. I am Devin Henry alongside Jacob Hitz. Our producer behind the scenes is Zach Johnson in the virtual production trailer using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. A pleasure to have all of you along for the ride tonight here on the dirt banks of Charlotte. Yet not the large track, the mile and a half that we're used to. We're right next door to the drag strip. But tonight we bring some of the top drivers on dirt to the dirt track tonight, Jacob. And of course, this track is like a mix of our last two tracks. Lernerville, about 4/10 mile. Fairbury, not a lot of banking here to utilize.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of does bring us right down into the middle with this racetrack. It's different than Lernersville last week. We actually have wall on the outside of the entire racetrack this time around, so we're not going to see people wind up in the forest this week. But I think we're going to be in for a good show here. You know, this is probably one of the more popular dirt tracks that are out there, just because Charlotte, as you mentioned, right down the street from the drag strip. You know, Charlotte has a lot of racing going on. With the big 1.5 mile track, the drag strip, plus you got this. This is probably one of the more popular places to go, and I'm sure these guys are going to have a lot of fun throwing it around here tonight.
One of the newer tracks in the physical world, at least on iRacing, built back in 2000. Let's take a look at your season schedule so far this year. Well, Cameron Merriman went on a run, won 4 races in a row. Emerson Axum decided to cut that off at Fairbury. Well, Merriman's now back on top after Lernerville, looking to gain back speed. And how about this tonight, Jacob? If he can win this race, he will be tied with Alex Bergeron for the most wins in the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. All that comes with a dub here tonight at Charlotte if he can get the job done.
Wouldn't surprise me if he can get the job done, to be perfectly honest. He was my favorite last week. Looking through, okay, yep, I just skipped over him on the roster sheet for a second. I thought he wasn't here, but you know, he was my pick last week just based off of, you know, the streak came to an end, so he's going to be furious and it just kind of run away with the show, and that's exactly what he did. Since he won last week, I don't really know how things are going to play out for him this week, but I do know that he should not have won that race last week. He got helped out by a mistake by the leader last time around. It's possible that happens again, and then he winds up in victory lane, or he just dominates everybody and wins by 3 laps. You know, it's that kind of unpredictability that we get from Cameron Merriman. He's always lurking up at the front. Question is he going to get the lead? Is he going to finish second? He's just always going to be a contender.
Certainly always going to be a contender when we come down here to the dirt tracks. And Heat Race 1 about to grid on up here, taking a look one last time at the 4/10 mile that all these drivers will be battling tonight. The dirt track at Charlotte. We'll start on pole in Heat Race number 1. Jacob Denny, one of the real-world racers out here today and one of the fast guys in the field. Jeffrey Stewart starts in P2. Jeremy St. Louis starts off in the 3rd position with Landon Cardoza outside of row 2. Chase McDermott will start inside of row 3, aside Curtis Merriman. Row number 4 brings you Donovan Lister and Brian Weidman, and Matteo Bestis will round out your 9-car field here for this heat race. 6 heat races here tonight. Most importantly, your top 2 drivers advance directly into tonight's A main. Everyone else will boil down into the alphabet soup from the E main all the way up to the A main. But all you really need to know is that you want to be in those top 2 spots. If you're not, you're going either to the E, D, C, or B main. Those are going to be 12 laps apiece. The top 4 from each advance to the next race. The top 8 from the B will advance to today's 20-car A main event. 6 heat races, 10 laps here. What are we expecting to see here at Charlotte for heat race number 1, Jacob?
A lot of good racing. I think that's all anybody can really hope for whatever track we go to. But these guys are going to put on a whale show. And this is pretty much going to be the first thing that we see so far today is, you know, it's going to be this is going to set the tone for the rest of the day. Things may be a bit chaotic. things may be calm up at the front, and these guys will kind of set the pace for that, I think, as the afternoon goes on. Keep in mind, we don't get a track reset for a while, so if they tear the heck out of this racetrack, everybody else is going to be feeling it down the line.
Jacob Denny leading the field to green and getting out to a great jump, and everyone moves on up to the cushion. Jeffrey Stewart falls behind and into the wall, the white number 71, St. Louis. An easy takeaway for P2. He moves into the final transfer spot.
Yeah, early mistakes. Last week you didn't have the wall, so you didn't have a problem. This week you have a wall, so you got to be extra careful up there by riding that cushion. You get too high, you're going to hit the wall. You're going to lose a lot of spots and potentially damage your race car. Ooh, Stewart got put in the wall. Oh! Up and over in turn one.
No caution in the heat races. Your number 2 driver goes into the wall, and he will take his machine to the pit area. A handful of laps completed. Jacob Denny still leading the way. Jeremy St. Louis is in the last transfer spot, and they are worlds away almost from Landon Cardoza. St. Louis, though, into the wall down the back straightaway. A lot of drivers with issues down the back chute.
Yeah, and Cardoza, he just rode the wall all the way down the front straightaway and lost a couple tenths on St. Louis. So Cardoza was the one that made contact with Stewart and put him basically up into the seats. And right now, I don't think he's got enough time to catch Jeremy St. Louis as we're halfway home.
Chase McDermott in that red number 9, that little bit of Casey Kane racing machine looking like McFadden's good old World Outlaws mobile. Cardoza able to fend him off right now. These two looking at a B main appearance. 5 laps down, 5 laps to go, 6 laps down, 4 to go here in heat race number 1. And it looks like Jeremy St. Louis might not be done bound for the lead as McDermott can't throw the slide job on Cardoza.
Yeah, Jeremy St. Louis has got the fishing pole out trying to reel in Jacob Denny. He's going to need a mistake or two out of Denny as he sends it in. Here we go for the lead, 2 to go.
St. Louis just under the cushion, contact, and Denny almost up and into the wall. He'll save it, go ahead, grab the bottom. Almost comes back up, didn't lose a lot of time though.
Man, Denny did get the wall. Jeremy St. Louis did kind of put him in the wall a little bit on the front straightaway. Was able to complete the pass, and I think Denny's just shot at this point. He knows he's in a transfer spot, just bringing around town. Jeremy St. Louis is going to win heat number 1.
St. Louis and Jacob Denny move on to tonight's A feature. Landon Cardoza, Chase McDermott will have to sell for the B. Donovan Luzier and Curtis Merriman will go to the C main. Brian Wiedemann, Matteo Bestis will go on to the D. That is your top 8 in the field. Moving on to the E main, unfortunately, will be the driver who started second, Jeffrey Stewart. Heat race number 2, ready to get on to track. Kenneth Dake Jr. will be on the pole for this. Rylan Gray in second. Trey Schmidt starts inside of row 2 with Austin Seelman. Semmelman, starting in 4th. Garrett Holsey will start off in 5th. Justin Stoltz in 6th. Nate Vaughn, P7. Chris Sabeske in 8th. Caden Folkert starts off in the 9th position. A little bit action-packed, but it looks like everyone wants the high side here to start off these heat races with a still pretty somewhat fresh track.
Yeah, I think that's just going to set the stage for what we see when we get to the alphabet soup, and then when we get to the feature. Everybody's going to be rim riding, and if you want to make a pass, you're going to have to throw it in on the inside and hope it sticks.
That's certainly the hope. We saw a couple of guys try to do that a little bit earlier on in heat race number 1. Ready for heat race number 2 action. Of course, a big thank you to Speed Shop 51, an iRacing setup shop which offers individual setup packs, coaching, custom designs, and so much more. Their main goal is to help improve the skill level of all competitors across the iRacing platform. Speed Shop 51 was established in December 2020 by Clayton Tilley. For more information, you can check out their website at www.speedshop51.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram today. Speaking of social media, glad to be here on Podium 2 and also the Podium YouTube and Facebook pages. Be sure to drop a comment who you're watching for, where you're watching from, who you're hoping can win today here at the dirt track at Charlotte for the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. The pace truck rolls on off. Kenneth Dake Jr. will lead the field to green alongside Rylan Gray. Remember, guys, all open setups here, so everyone running whatever they have built or purchased under them. Dake takes the green flag early, and we're almost 3 wide for second. It's a fight as Trey Schmidt moves into the second position.
Yeah, these guys are really slippy and slidey right out of the gate. It takes them a lap to kind of get the tires up to speed and get things rolling. And what in the world are we seeing back here? Somebody goes around. That's Husley. or Hubbleseed. He got beat up by a couple different cars on my screen. He went through a couple, got around. He's going to drop all the way to the back.
All the way to the back, and now in contention to try to move on to the 80. Still drivers bouncing off the wall here.
Justin Stoltz winds up on his roof in turn one. I'm not sure who quite got him up in the air, but he definitely had some assistance in that tumble act. He's going to drop to the back.
Now Rylan Gray on the wall down the front straightaway. He still is able to hold on to third. Meanwhile, Kenneth Dix Jr. is just absolutely young in this field. Holy cow, a lot of drivers with issues tonight at Charlotte. They can't seem to figure out this track.
Dirt Racing or X Games, that's Nate Vaughn that went for a ride. He's going to tow. And it's still Dakey and Schmidt, your top two.
A wacky one. Rylan Gray trying to catch on up. Austin Semmelman stuck in the fourth position right now as Sebeske will try to take away that position from him. Battle for fourth into turn number 3. Sebeske able to do a slide job. Gonna make it stick. Semmelman able to come back on the inside though with the crossover.
Great move by Semmelman, but here comes Sebeske. He's going to try it again up the inside. He's going to make it stick. Semmelman in the gas off the corner. These guys really are just racing to see which man they get thrown in, because right now they're on the outside looking in. Semmelman gets the wall. Here comes Sebeske back on the bottom.
Coming to 2 laps to go, excuse me. And when it comes to this battle, it's either you're going to be in the B main or in the C main. That's the battle that these two are going after. Meanwhile, Dake still out front, Trey Schmidt in second. They're going on to the A main if they can hold that. Rylan Gray, Sebeske trying to move away from Semmelman. Semmelman able to grab the cushion though, trying to go around the outside. Final lap here in heat race number 2. Kenneth Jr. is going to be able to take the first spot. Trey Smith in second. Semmelman throws a big slider. Rylan Gray takes third, and Austin Semmelman gonna have to go ahead and take a B main spot, but able to take a pass on Chris Sebeske. Sebeske finishing 5th. Holsey in 6th, Volkert 7th, Justin Stoltz in 8th, and Nate Vaughn rounds out the field. And that one was a wacky heat race there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect these guys to be that aggressive, especially it's heat number 2. I think we had 3 or 4 cars wind up on their top. So I think for the later heats, some of these guys are going to look at it and say, yeah, all right, we might take it a little bit easy so we don't wind up junked and wind up starting really deep in the alphabet soup.
Yeah, you don't really want to start in the E main. That's never fun to come through. David Heelman will start off on pole in heat race number 3. We'll see if they can calm things down a little bit. Roch Coronado will start off in second. How about Chase Randall, the announcer, will be starting third here in heat race number 3. Alongside him is Jimmy Barr. Peyton Grease will start off in the 5th position. Aiden Berlin will start off in 6th. Joey LaCure will start in the P7 with Scott King in P8. And how about tagging in the back of the field? I think he might show the plate. Alex Bergeron. We've seen him have to come from the back here many times this year. He's gotten it done sometimes. Other times, he's kind of had to trek his way through the field.
And that's exactly what he's going to have to do here at this one. And if he can't really improve where he's at on the racetrack right now, he's going to have to do it again when we get to the alphabet soup. I know he don't want to start back in any main. He would rather just win the heat. It's going to be very difficult to do that from back in 9th spot to get through everybody. So he may wind up in a B main or a C main. It's going to be difficult for him to get himself in a spot to make the feature from there.
Yeah, it's a little easier to go through 8 cars instead of having to worry about going through, well, 3 or 4 races a little bit afterwards. David Heelman, Roch Corianta will start off this race as the truck peels on off. Heat race number 3 about to be underway for the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series, round 10. Green flag is up, green flag is flying, and Chase Randall trying to peek to the inside. Heelman able to safely get out to the front though.
And Aiden Byerlin is still tumbling in turn 1. He got thrown up into the catch fence right at the start-finish line. So not a good start for him. He's going to get towed. He's going to pretty much finish in the last spot here.
Going to be a long day for the winningest driver in the series. Meanwhile, Chase Randall still hounding Roch Coronado. Still trying to find that final transfer spot. The top 2 advance to the A main. Everyone else will go through alphabet soup. Almost contact there from Randall, as Peyton Grice just kind of watches behind them in that black and yellow number 92 and 4th.
Yeah, Randall and Corinta are putting a great battle on for a second. They almost made contact down the backstretch. Corinta gets back out front. Randall and Grice make contact. They all hang on for third, but that's just going to allow Carrinta to pull away.
We've had some physical racing here in these first 3 heat races. 4 down, 6 to go in heat race number 3. Hillman is still way out front in front of this field as these two come and tag together. Jimmy Barr and Scott King tag each other, and they're going to have to slide to the back of the field.
And Grease just threw it into turn 3. Randall had to go wide and actually hit the wall, and he was still able to pull away from Grease. That's how bad Grease had to lift in the center of the corner. Now he's back in the wall. He's going to lose 2 more spots. Up in the air goes Grease.
Trying to bring the car back down. Damage is on for this series. He's going to have to take a tow now. Every race has seen 2 drivers have to take it to pit road. It's been a physical dirt track here in Concord, North Carolina. Heat race number 3 with now just 3 laps to go. Hillman way out front. Parenta will have the final transfer spots. He bangs the wall off of turn number 2, and Chase Randall will be there to strike.
Everybody's hitting the wall. Carrinta's hitting the wall. I've seen Alex Bergeron hit it 4 or 5 times. Joey LaDuce down through the grass in turn 1 and back into the outside wall. Him and Bergeron made contact. Bergeron has slid his way into 4th spot, but I think he's hit everything but the pace car to get there.
Bergeron has started shotgun, now looking at spot in the B main. Final lap for David Hillman. He's going to take the win here in heat race number 3 and advance on to the A main. Rob Scoriata will be behind him in second. He is A main bound as well. Chase Randall, Alex Bergeron to the B. Joey LaCour and Jimmy Barr will have to go to the C. Scott King, Peyton Greers, they're going to the D. Aiden Bierland will have to go to tonight's E main event. So I guess we're not going to calm down at least a little bit. Yeah, open setup. Damage is on, regardless of what that happens to look like right now. But nonetheless, they're still trying to give it everything that they got. The intensity high here in these heat races. Heat race number 4 coming on up is the Oceanic Dirt Sim Events Group, an Australian iRacing league who specializes in dirt events. For more information, be sure to visit at Oceanic_dirt_sim_events on Instagram today. Take part of it. See if you want to go racing there, or you know what, just go ahead and watch. Have a good time. Spectate if you want. Great group over there with a great group of Aussies having themselves a good time. Heat race number 4 now. Kendall Tucker will be at the front of the field with Dustin Griffiths starting in second. Cameron Merriman, he's the guy everyone's watching, starts inside of row 2. Ross Kaiser starts in 4th. Tyler Wilson in P5 with Dustin Hall outside of row 3. Carolyn Cure starts in 7th. Gunnar Harris in 8th. Clayton Tilley, the guy from Speed Shop 51. He'll be tagging shotgun here, and Jacob, the intensity is going to go down, right? That's a guarantee, right? That's how this works? No?
Maybe.
Am I wrong?
I think the urgency is going to pick up at this point just because the track is going to lose its grip now. You know, we've already run 30 laps on it. We're about to run 10 more. By the 6th heat, they're going to be pretty much running on ice skates. I think this is going to be the last heat where anybody's going to have any sort of grip, and then it's just every man for himself in the last 2 heats. Throw it in the corner, pray it sticks, pray you keep it off the wall, and pray you don't get run over. I think that's the game plan moving forward.
Look at your current weather conditions. 80 degrees outside. The wind's not too nasty, but clear skies here in the virtual Concord, North Carolina. Kendall Tucker will bring the field to green, the white 00. A good jump for him. Merriman able to get to the inside of Griffiths here for the 2nd position. Wheel to wheel across turn 2. Merriman's not going to get the run off of turn 2. A little bit of loose there from the 9, though. That will send Merriman into the final transfer spot.
Yeah, Merriman wasn't going to get that spot until everybody else made a mistake, and he was able to take that spot. But he's got Griffiths back on the outside of it. Merriman's just going to say, all right, I'll take the lead. See you later, boys.
Goodbye, good night. Dustin Hall, big slide job on Ross Kaiser.
Oh!
Back over. How about the contact up here, though? Still trying to duke it out all the way up front. Merriman takes the lead. Griffiths and Tucker, though, right on his heels. Tucker with the slide job. Right up to the wall. Merriman crosses over, and the top 3 are duking it out here for the 2 transfer spots.
Well, Tucker and Merriman make contact a lap ago heading into turn one. They're both able to hang on. Merriman out in front, Tucker second, Griffiths in third, and then it's a snarling pack behind him. Kaiser, Hall, Cure, and the rest of them. I think anybody has a shot here to get this second one. I think Merriman's just gone now, but I think it's a battle for this second spot.
Snarling indeed. Kendall Tucker trying to do what he can to run away from everyone else. 5 down, 5 to go in heat race number 4. 2 more heat races coming up after this. Justin Griffiths trying to reel on in Kendall Tucker. Griffiths in that purple number 9 machine. Ross Kaiser behind him in the 83 machine. Starting to fade back as Kendall Tucker starts to reel in Cameron Merriman just the slightest here.
Yeah, and Tucker had a good finish last week too. Finished 10th in the feature. He's got a good shot here to throw Merriman for the top spot as he slams the wall in turn one.
Just bouncing the right rear off of it, still able to gain a little bit of time on Merriman here. Griffiths almost in the wall himself, trying to run down. Contact behind them as Dustin Hall got a tire from Carlin Cure, excuse me.
And he winds up beached on a tire, one of the tractor tires here in the infield. He's going to have to tow. White flag.
The top 2 have ripped away from the field to advance to tonight's A main event. Top 2 advance, everyone else going to semi-features, but Cameron Merriman started third. Will bring it home in the top spot. Him and Kendall Tucker moving on to tonight's A main. Dustin Griffiths and Dustin Hall will have to move to the B. Ross Kaiser, Tyler Wilson to the C. Gunnar Harris, Carlin Cure go to tonight's D main. Clayton Tilley will have to move into the E feature. A deep alphabet soup for them. Well, definitely we're not having anyone letting up, but Jacob, what does the track look like right now? It still doesn't look like it's really slicking off that bad through these heat races, but everyone is still having trouble off of turn number 2. There's a magnet on the back straightaway wall, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, turn 2 at this point seems to be the toughest part of the racetrack. Whether it's fresh or whether it's worn out, these guys are slipping and sliding and have a really difficult time on the exit of 2. And even on the exit of 4, we've seen contact pretty much start at the exit of 4 and keep going all the way down to turn 1. So it seems like corner exits are really the trouble spots for these guys right now.
Certainly the trouble spot. Can these guys fix it on up? Our next heat race featuring Kenny Miller and Eddie Hartley on the front row. Richie Preston and Tyler Chalk will start off in row 2. Cody Hillman starts in the 5th position alongside Larry Moody. Kevin Fry starts in P7, Douglas James in P8. Craig Galligan did not enter the session in time. If he will start, it will be off of pit road. Your 9 cars here for heat race number 5. One more to come after this. Top 2 lock themselves into tonight's A feature event. And Jacob, there's no points at stake. There's nothing at stake except for some cold, hard cash. Oh, and the bragging rights too. That's pretty nice as well.
Well, and money will make people do stupid things. So by the end of the feature, if you got 3 guys fighting for the lead, you're going to see them sitting on in there, trying to get the $100, do everything they can to get that money. You're going to get money for finishing 2nd and 3rd, but hey, they want the big prize. They want to brag if they won at the dirt track at Charlotte.
$100 to the winner of tonight's race every week here. Kenny Miller in the white number 23 leading the field to green. Eddie Hartley trying to keep up in the gray number 19, but Richie Preston gets a great jump from the inside, now looking for P2.
They're already making contact. Go figure. I mean, we got Kevin Fry. He's sideways in the back. It's a snarling pack for 4th on back. 4 cars under a blanket. And there goes Larry Moody. He gets kicked sideways. He hangs on. We're going to be seeing this, I think, all night long. I mean, we've seen it before, and we're just going to keep seeing it over and over.
Richie Preston, the white 25, almost got himself into trouble. He's hounded by Cody Hillman and Tyler Chalk directly on his rear tail tank. Next to Preston, Hillman trying to make the move in that gray and pink number 3. Bottom feeding. We haven't seen a lot of drivers make success out of this, and he can't seem to get a grip either.
No, not in the slightest bit. The bottom line is killed, especially at this point. Maybe on a fresh track it might work for a couple laps, but at this point, you run the bottom, you're gonna sink like an anchor. I mean, game over.
Coming to the halfway point in heat race number 5, Kenny Miller nearly a 1-second lead over Eddie Hartley. Hartley then with over a half a second over Richie Preston. Tyler Chalk sitting in the 4th position. Cody Hillman trying to fight with Tyler Chalk, but Hillman still using that inside to no avail. But again, it's open setup. If you set up the car in a way that's not going to work on the outside, you're kind of stuck here.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, if you didn't set your car up for the high side, you have a lot of regrets right now, because the outside line is the dominant line. It is king at this point.
3 laps to go now. Miller still leading. Hartley is reeled in, your leader, though, by about 0.3 of a second. They've left Richie Preston and company way behind them, but Hartley looks like might just run out of time. 2 to go this time by the line.
Yeah, Eddie Hartley is the man they're trying to catch, and they're not going to catch him as Douglas James. He's broke down in turn 1, saw him really drop off the pace. Not sure what happened. Looking back at the replay, he just drove into the outside wall on the straightaway, bounced up into the air, got kick flipped a couple times. Bad ride for him, but Kenny Miller, Eddie Hartley, they're making the big show.
Richie Preston, Tyler Chalk will have to go to the B. Cody Hillman, Larry Moody moving to the C main event. Douglas James and Kevin Fry to the D. Trey Galligan will have to settle for an E main appearance if he can get the car out there in time. Well, that will do for heat race number 5. One more burst of intensity still to go. The next 9-car heat race. Gridding on up. They will be led to the green by the number 55 of Zane Scott. Along him is Ernie Williams Jr. Sean Brown inside of row number 2 alongside Felix Roy. Zachary Berland will start in the 5th position. Justin Zapotinski will start in P6. Gage Stevens in 7th. Cody Meadows starts off in the 8th position. Jack Sion starts in 9th. That is your 9-car field here in the final heat race of the day. Well, if your home for high-quality graphic design is not AllStar Visuals, it's time to start thinking about it, because that's exactly what they are, along with an outstanding customer service group. If you are looking for a new race logo, maybe hero cards, anything else, look no further. AllStar Visuals has you covered in every way. For more information, visit facebook.com/AllStar Visuals today. I need to learn to talk, Jacob, because these guys, with the intensity that they're bringing to the heat races, we are going to have some pretty ridiculous looking trips to the consolation races, I think.
Well, I can see this happening right now, because we kind of saw last week at Lernerville, where we've got guys that, they win the E main, they win the D main. They're really strong guys. Then they move on up to the C main, and they have to climb through everybody else. And they may wind up putting other people kind of hip checking them out of the way, saying, I'm faster than you, move it. I know we saw it last week at Lernerville. We really didn't see anybody make it through more than one stage before getting kicked out in the next one. So if anybody can climb their way through, I know we got this heat race left to go, but if anybody can climb their way up through multiple stages tonight, I will be impressed.
Zane Scott brings the field to green, the white number 55, and a great move. Ernie Williams Jr. wants it all, and a contact here. Zane Scott gets turned, and Sean Brown takes the lead.
First to worst, right there. I mean, just one mistake is all it takes, and you can wind up at the back of the grid. It's such a shame for him, because I know he had a lot of high hope. Yeah, starting in the last heat, but he's starting up front. Typically, you're going to be ahead of all the chaos. Instead, the chaos came right up to the back of him. Nowhere to go. First turn, first lap. He drops to the rear.
Contact on the rear bumper will end his day. Bound for the 3rd position. Felix Roy able to get around Ernie Williams Jr. on the outside. Williams now stuck on the inside lane. He'll fend off Cody Meadows for now, but Roy has the lock-on set for Gage Stevens in front of him. Top 2 transfer directly to tonight's A main event.
Yeah, so here we are, 1 lap away from halfway. And I mean, Roy and Stevens, this is probably the closest battle on the racetrack. It's also the most important battle on the racetrack, just because this is the transfer spot. Roy's going to try and set it in there, but not enough grip on the bottom for him to make it work. He's going to fall back. He'll have to try it again. He's going to try it here again and one, and he's got it.
Slide job done, lands right up on the cushion. Stevens trying to bring it back on the inside. Can he do a slide job? No, he's stuck in the slick stuff on the inside. He's going to lose a spot, actually.
Yeah, so that's just going to make it that much harder. And again, stuck in the slick on the inside. He's going to fall back again. He's going to slide Ernie Williams into second. He's now got a great shot if he can get back to Roy. But now Stevens is going to try and get that top roll again. Is Sean Brown, he's dropped the deuces. He said, see you later. He's got almost a 3-second lead right now. He's gone.
Brown says, I'll see you guys in the A main. Felix Roy holding on to that last transfer spot. Ernie Williams Jr. trying to fight his way back, though. Contact more towards the back of the field. Cody Meadows gets hit in the rear end.
Yeah, that'll put Zane Scott in the 7th spot, then get him 1 spot past here. But last lap, and Ernie Williams going to have one. Well, he was going to have one more shot, and he fell back a little more than he wanted to there on Felix Roy. He can just lock her down here and hang on. So Sean Brown, Felix Roy, they're making the A main. They've got the top 2 spots here in the last heat.
Ernie Williams Jr. and Gage Stevens go to the B. Zachary Berlard will have to go to the C along with Justin Zapadinsky. Zane Scott, Cody Meadows to the D. Jack Sion, if he can get the car out there, will be in tonight's E main event. Quick turnaround here. It's time for your E main. Glad to have everyone watching here on Podium 2, also on our Facebook page and YouTube page. We got the whole Beerland family watching. Anne Marie is out there watching on Facebook. Cameron Paquette is watching as well on our Facebook page. And Nathan Langley said that he wanted to race today, but he kind of missed out on practice and qualifying. He was watching the Nationals game. I hope it was worth it. I hope that they're winning at that point then.
Well, if he's watching the Nationals game, then that means I'm in trouble, because that means he's also watching the Phillies game, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're still playing. And go figure, Phillies are losing top of the 8th 2-1.
Well, hey, maybe it's worth it to miss out on this one. That's been chaotic so far. Here's your grid for the E main. Zane Scott, Matteo Besti will start on the front row. Justin Stoltz, Peyton Greers, they'll start in row number 2. Carlin Cure, Kevin Fry, they start off in the 3rd row here. Cody Meadows will have to start inside of row 4 with Jeffrey Stewart in the 8th position. Nate Vaughn starts in P9. Aiden Berlin will have to start all the way back here in 10th. Clayton Tilley starts P11th. Trey Galligan, Jack Sion will miss out on the feature. Not able to get into their cars in time. Well, now it's time to get your last-ditch effort. The top 4 here in the E main, or excuse me, we're going to go here in the D main, rather. No, I'm sorry, I can't read. This is the E main. Top 4 will move on to the D main, and then you tag the back of the D. We'll continue through there. Track state still slicking off. It looks like everyone's going to be moving to the high side here and throwing those bombs that we've been seeing these past few races, Jacob.
Definitely. Trying to figure out my scoring. My scoring's got something funky going on right now. I'm trying to figure out if it's actually... Yeah, okay, Peyton Grease is not on the track as well, so we've only got 10 folks running this thing.
That makes it 3 spots easier to try to get into tonight's D feature event. The Alphabet Soup starts now. Did you know that the dirt track at Charlotte actually hosts monster truck rallies every now and again, and it sure looks like we've been seeing one tonight in the virtual world. Now can you try to make yourself into tonight's A feature for the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series? Zane Scott, Matteo Besti will move him to the green flag. Scott gets a great jump. And here comes Justin P2, and we're going to wreck them all.
Oh, so Matteo Besset, he lost it going into turn 1 in front of... Oh, a horrible crash! Jeffrey Stewart, hard into the outside wall in turn 3. Kevin Fry, they're both beached on their side. We're still green, but a hellacious crash at the entrance of turn number 3. Oh, my gosh!
Well, if you survive that, that means that you're one of 6 going for 4 positions now here in tonight's E main event. No cautions till we get later on in the day in the A feature. Meanwhile, your battle up front, Zane Scott, Justin Stoltz leading the way. Zane Scott in the white, number 55. Stoltz moving up the inside. The number 23 moves up to P1.
And now you got Vaughn and Byerlin. They're battling it for 4th. Carlin Cure, he's back in this thing. He has a shot to make it in and transfer up after that horrible wreck into his heat. These guys putting on a whale of a show. I love it.
Everyone's selling out, coming to complete lap number 5. Let's take a look back at that replay. We'll see exactly what happened. That wiped out almost half the field, Jacob. Oh, this one was nasty.
Yeah, I mean, That wreck going into the 3. Oh, they hooked off each other. Oh, man. That is absolute worst case scenario here. I mean, 3 wide, beating and banging. Just a little bit of contact is all it takes. And I mean, hard into the outside wall.
That ruins the night and will conclude the night for almost half of the field. Meanwhile, Justin Stoltz's lead has accumulated up to nearly a second and a half over Zane Scott. Aiden Berlin, he was able to avoid all of that, started in the 10th position. He's now up to P3. Carlin Cure, your final transfer spot right now with a 2-second advantage over Nate Vaughn. It looks like we might just have our top 4 set so long as nobody makes a massive mistake, which we've seen a few of them so far today.
Just got to make it 3 more laps. 3 more laps, perfect laps, and you'll be all right. And Stoltz, Scott, Byerlin, Cure, you're all going to make the show. No need to worry.
Just got to calm down, tag the back of the D main. Of course, once you're able to move ahead to the D, it's still only the top 4 would advance to the C. So go ahead, take some notes, make some final setup changes that's going to make you fast enough to go through the field on this lick track in Concord to get you into tonight's C main event. But first and foremost, coming to the checkers here, where the E is Stoltz kind of gets a wee bit on the high side off of 2. He'll keep it all composed. Scott wants to make one last run at it, but it's going to be Justin Stoltz taking home the win. Zane Scott, Aiden Berlin, Carlin Cure, your 4 drivers moving on to the D feature event. Everybody else, they're going home.
Now, what you got to keep in mind is that the top 4 that just moved on, Stoltz, Scott, Byerlin, and Cure, they need to be able to make passes without having the whole field wreck in front of them. That's got to be the key the rest of the way, because you can't expect everybody in front of you to wad it up in the first 2 laps and you to gain 8 spots just because of it. You got to be ready to actually claw your way up through the field.
Well, I think Berlin actually took some notes. He did a good job avoiding everything in that first team main. So maybe he has a little something here for these guys if that does happen. So maybe he's the guy with the best opportunity here moving into tonight's D feature event. Jimmy Barr will start off on the pole alongside Tyler Wilson. Larry Moody, Justin Zapatowski will start off in row 2. Brian Wiedemann starts P5 with Caden Folkerts on his outside. Scott King starts in P7, Gunnar Harris in P8. Douglas James starts in the 9th position alongside the winner of E main, Justin Stoltz, Zane Scott, Aiden Berlin, Carlin Cure. That's your 13-car field, all vying for your 4 spots to move on to tonight's C main.
Make it 11. Tyler Wilson, Larry Moody, 2nd and 3rd. Well, they're not out there. So that's going to make life difficult. Well, for them. For everybody else, it's, okay, free spots, thanks.
I don't know if it makes life difficult. I think they just need to disconnect and go watch the Nationals game with everyone else, apparently. That will bring everyone up 1 row on the grid, actually. So Jimmy Barr will start alongside Justin Zapatowski. Brian Wiedemann will start off in the 3rd position. Caden Folkerts will start outside of row number 2. Top 4 advance to the C main event here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And like we said, to win tonight's race, it's not about points. It's not about anything like that. It's about $100 on the line to win. 50 for 2nd, 25 for 3rd. Coming to the green flag, Jimmy Barr control the field in the white, number 81 takes the green. Zapatunski in the 3 doesn't have quite the get off there. It's Brian Wiedemann able to take away P2.
And everybody is super spread out. You got guys on the bottom, guys on the top, all over the place, 3 wide, the middle of the pack, almost 4 wide. This is good stuff right here.
2 by 2 make it 3 wide now as the 23 trying to make his way through the field. That there is Justin Stoltz trying to work his way up, all the way up from the transfer position, tagging the back of this main, all the way up front. Still issues here for Zapatowski. Stoltz trying to work this middle line here. He's got a little bit of speed, but still needs a little bit of work here to get his way into the top 4.
Man, they're almost 4 wide for the lead. There they go. That's the big one. Oh, a horrible wreck.
And you know who's going to avoid that? Justin Stoltz is in the final transfer spot. Carlin Cure, who was the final transfer in the E, now moves into the 5th position.
And they're not done battling yet. Look at this. You got to battle for second. You got to battle for the lead. As here comes Barr all the way up in the outside wall. Wyman on the bottom. This is good stuff.
Wiedemann in the black 01 NOS machine leading the way using that inside lane, starting to slick off on the high side. Meanwhile, Scott King, Justin Stoltz, and Carlin Cure all duking it out. If you get 2 positions, that's a whole row for the next race. Don't look now, but Jimmy Barr starting to re-enter his name into the conversation for a transfer.
Stoltz in second, Cure in fourth. These guys clawing their way all the way from the back, and they've got a shot here to move on.
Barr slides back a spot. As Aiden Barline will now move into the 5th spot. He has his sights on Scott Keene. Can Aiden now move his way into a transfer spot as well? We already have half the transfers standing right now from the E main.
And here comes Stoltz on the high side. Weideman's just got a little bit of better launch on the bottom, but Stoltz is there and probably can contend for this.
Stoltz ripping the lip, coming to 3 laps to go in this D feature event at Charlotte. Stoltz able to clear, new leader. It's the 23 machine who transferred out of the E main. Along with him, Carlin Cure and now Aiden Barline will now move into the 4th spot. So 3 of the drivers who advanced from the E are now trying to advance to the C.
This is unbelievable. 2 to go. King's on the outside looking in. Bayerlein is in. Cure is in. Wiedemann is in. And then you got Stoltz out here leading this thing. Unbelievable.
Final time around, Concord, North Carolina for this D feature. Justin Stoltz from the E to win at the D. Brian Wiedemann will come home in the 2nd position. Carlin Cure in 3rd. Aiden Barline will bring it home in the 4th spot. 3 drivers who started in the E will now find themselves in the C feature. Again, Jacob, 1 quick tune-up, and then you got to get right back out there. You got, what, 60 seconds to get back out on the track for the C now? That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, 60 seconds, if that. Now you win the race. Congratulations. You start 11th. It's kind of all right, I won the race. And now you get to start all the way at the back and do that whole song and dance over again. Justin Stoltz is going to, it's like Groundhog Day. You're just living this nightmare over and over and over until you get to the feature.
So long as you're not part of the giant wreck, I think that you're going to be okay. Oh, that's a big if. Heat race number 3, if you will. That's what they feel like because of the intensity still, but this is a C main. Tyler Chalk will start on the pole alongside Gage Stevens. Donovan Lazier will start in 3rd. Chris Sebeski will start in 4th. Joey Lashier will start off in the 5th position. Ross Kaiser in 6th. Cody Hillman starts inside of row 4. Zachary Burlard will start off in 8th. Curtis Merriman starts in the 9th position. Garrett Holsey will start in 10th. And then it's your 4 from the D. Justin Stoltz, who started in the E main. Brian Wiedemann, who came out of the D. Carlin Cure and Aiden Berlin, who started actually in the E main as well. Can we get at least one of these 3 drivers to make their way to tonight's B main event? Still going to be an uphill climb, no cautions, 12 laps.
I think these guys have the better chance than anybody else that would have made it. I'll be completely honest. I think these guys might be the guys to go all the way up the ladder. We'll see.
Well, Justin Stoltz is perfect so far. He won the E main. He won the D from the 10th position. He will now start this race in the 11th spot. No gimmies, though. Everyone will start this C main event. The top 4 advance on to fight in the semi, the B feature. Coming up, well, 60 seconds after this race is completed. The C main, though, 12 laps. The B main will have the top 8 transfer. So if you can get through this one, it might be a little simpler to get to the feature. But first, Tyler Chalk will bring the field to green, hanging back, takes the green. Right behind him, Lazier's going to get a great jump out of 3rd.
Yeah, that stacked everybody up. That was like an IndyCar start where everybody stomp on the brakes coming to the start and finish line, then you gas up and everybody winds up ramping over each other. And that could have been really, really scary. But oh, as there goes, that's Kyle
riser spinning through the grass. He keeps it going straight. Everybody missed him. But this is what you're going to see. When everybody gets bunched up, they get 5 wide. You make contact, and you're going to get people going sideways.
Cody Hillman couldn't make the inside work in his heat race. He makes it work now, moving up to second here in this C feature event. Chalk leads Hillman right on his rear bumper. What a grip off of turn number 2. New leader, it's Cody Hillman.
We got one sideways in the back, up and over into the fence. That's Zachary Brouillard back there. Looks like everybody else is good for the time being.
Hillman leads. Sabaski's now taking over the second spot. Tyler Chalk still stuck in third. Donovan Lazier has the final transfer spot. Gage Stevens now moves into 5th. Your top runners from the D main, Aiden Barlin is starting in 7th right now. Stoltz is in 8th. They still have a few more positions to make up, but they still have some time. 7 to go this time by the stripe.
Yeah, they got time, but the sand in the hourglass is almost out. So they got to be careful here. So we got a nice battle for the lead. Sabeski on the high side, Hillman on the bottom. This is good stuff.
Hillman still trying to work that inside lane. Meanwhile, 5 drivers fighting for the final transfer spot. Chalk into 3rd. Huxley now stuck back in 4th.
Oh!
On the outside, gets squeezed into the wall. That's not Bierlin, actually. No, it actually was. I'm wrong on that one.
No, it was, yeah.
I thought
he stuck it in there on the high side. And Chalk said, yeah, you're not going to get through it there. And they just made contact. He's going to try the middle, and that's going to work out for him. He'll get by 1 there.
Chalk from 4th to 7th. He loses all that ground. 2-lane track here, 4 laps to go in the C feature. The top 4 in.
Oh!
One car goes
Gage
around. He was in a transfer. Bierlin now.
Yeah, Gage Stevens up on his roof.
Bierlin got it.
Oh, big wreck in turn 3. Tyler Chalk's upside down. They're still wrecking. That's Huxley around. He was in 3rd, I think.
He was.
The whole thing's blown apart.
Bierlin is now moved into 4th, and Justin Stoltz is gunning for this spot. 3-way battle for the final transfer.
He just threw it into turn 3. He didn't care that there was a wall there. He was going to get by one way or another. His foot was not leaving the floor, and he's on the outside. He's going to pinch him down into turn 3 as we're coming to the white flag.
Chris Sabeski has said sayonara. Cody Hillman wins 2nd now. Bierlin has 3rd place all to himself. It's all about the final transfer. Justin Stoltz, who started the E, rips the lip, and he moves into 4th.
They make contact!
Ooh, they're able to keep it together, though. Justin Stoltz and Aiden Bierlin from the E main to the B main now. How about that?
Wow, that unbelievable. What a drive by Stoltz. Wow.
Sabeski, Hillman, Bierlin, Stoltz, all advanced to the semi feature. The B main now coming on up. Again, 60 seconds. What have you learned from the chaotic nature of these first, what's it been, 10 races? Are you changing your mindset going into the B now?
The only thing I know is Justin Stoltz either has a force field around him or he's wearing a golden horseshoe or something. I mean, it just, wow. That's all I got to say, just wow.
Absolutely chaotic. And we'll take a look at your last chance to move on to tonight's feature. The top 8 will transfer out of this. Landon Cardoza starts in 1st, Rylan Gray in 2nd. Chase Randall starts off in the 3rd spot. Dustin Griffith starts in 4th. Richie Pearson in 5th. Ernie Williams Jr. rounds out the first 3 rows. Chase McDermott starts in 7th. Austin Simmelman starts in 8th. I like Cinnamon. Alex Bergeron starts in the 9th position. He'll have to claw his way up. Dustin Hall in 10th. And then your 4 drivers who transferred in through the C. Chris Sabeski, Cody Hillman, and then the 2 remaining drivers who were in the E main, Aiden Bierlin and Justin Stoltz. One final chance here. Aiden Bierlin and Justin Stoltz have an opportunity to go from tonight's E main into the A. The top 8 advance to the feature. So they only need to pass a few cars here to get themselves in. Alex Bergeron, though, how about him? He starts on the outside looking in by 1 spot. One of 2 World Championship drivers with him and Semmelman.
Yeah, he's going to be really aggressive here on this start. I mean, we saw how aggressive he was back in his heat to try and get up into the top two. He's going to be clawing his way up through to at least get in that top 8. But I'm sure he just wants to win this thing.
Cardoza takes the field to green. Rylan Gray gets caught sleeping. Chase Randall able to take away the second spot.
Oh. And we got multiple cars in the wall here in turn 1 and 2. Stoltz is in it. Dustin Hall and Austin Semmelman. They all wind up sideways. Semmelman's the last man to get it going. But now it's Cardoza and Preston for the lead.
Preston work in the middle. Cardoza up high. Chase Randall trying to use the inside. Cardoza got a lick of the wall. Now he's under attack from Ernie Williams Jr. along with Chris Zabeski. And Alex Bergeron now moving into P4.
Creeping on up there.
Creeping on up and creeping fast. Bergeron now up to the 3rd position. Ernie Williams Jr. duking it out in the middle of the track right now. Richie Preston loves what he's seen in his virtual rear view mirror. Chase Randall, though, still duking it out in the 2nd position. Bergeron trying to rip the lip and gain some speed on the outside. Still stuck back in 3rd, though.
I was about to say, I don't know if he really likes what he sees out his rearview mirror, because he's got Alex Bergeron right behind him. That's got to scare him right now. I don't know if he's worried about Chase Randall, but when you got Bergeron ripping the top of the racetrack, you better run.
Running he certainly is, because Bergeron is closing on in. The World Championship driver trying to win this race and start about halfway through the field in tonight's A main. On board the right front and the right rear gets into the wall. He gets a little bit of contact on the tail tank, still able to hold on to 3rd though through that.
Yeah, Ernie Williams got in the back of him there on exit, but really no harm, no foul. Everybody keeps it going. We're all good.
5 to go this time by. Issues towards the back. Cardoza trying to get around Berlin. Aiden Berlin actually right now sitting in the 5th position. He started today in the E-main event. Has a chance to transfer on through. Justin Stoltz, our other E-main competitor, he's now moving to the 9th position, 1 spot on the outside looking in. More chaos.
And he's right there too.
Slide.
Yeah, he's right there.
Transfer.
Yeah, you got 5 guys all here in this last transfer spot. This is incredible.
He was a part of that first lap wreck as well.
It's amazing how much speed he's got.
Stoltz in the turquoise and black number 23, ripping the lip right off the wall. How about the momentum off the high side?
And he's in with that move. He's in 8th, now 7th, now back to 8th with Williams.
Wheel to wheel coming to 2 laps to go. This is the battle for the final transfer spot into today's A feature, where the winner takes home 100 buckaroos. 2 to go for this battle right here. It's Ernie Williams Jr., Justin Stoltz, their 7th and 8th. Chase McDermott in the 21, Cody Hillman in the 3, starting to fall off here. These are the last 2 drivers in right now. Final lap around the track.
Stoltz is on cruise control at this point. I mean, even Williams is pretty easy. It's Hillman and it's McDermott that are really battling hard. As here comes, who was that? Rylan Gray sends it in up the inside. They keep making contact on exit. They're going to crash before the start-finish line. Man, oh man.
Top 8 advance to tonight's A main event. Those drivers are Richie Preston, Alex Bergeron, Aiden Berlin, Chris Zabeski, Chase Randall, Landon Cardoza, Justin Stoltz, and Ernie Williams Jr. all get the final spots in today's A main. We'll take a break, bring you back. It has been chaotic, to keep it civilized, if you will. More chaos coming out from the dirt track in Charlotte. This is the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series live on Podium Esports. Well, they're taking the blade and the water truck to this track. It's going to be a fresher track when we go back to tonight's A feature event. 35 laps, the winner takes home $100. And Jacob, after what we just saw there through the 6 heat races, the E through B main, this has the potential to be downright ridiculous.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, this is going to be... Just imagine me with my jaw to the floor for the next hour or so, however long this race is, because that's pretty much what it's going to look like. I mean, these guys put on a whale of a show, and they're going to keep doing that in the future. You've got some absolutely fast guys in here. Justin Stoltz is on rails out there. I mean, he's certainly going to be, I know he's starting from the back, but he's absolutely somebody I'm going to be watching here.
No points, no nothing. All it is bragging rights and cold, hard cash. $100 to the winner tonight, $50 for second, $25 for third, and no entry fee. It's just first come, first served signups for this league. And everyone jumped in, and I think we might just have the best 20 moving on into tonight's A feature event. So as the drivers will conclude their warm-ups here at the dirt track at Charlotte in the middle of this sim day. Final laps, final test tunes, final time to tune up that car before you hit the grid one more time and fight for a little bit of money. Here's how they will line up here in the A feature event at the dirt track at Charlotte for the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. Jeremy St. Louis will start P1 in the number 1. Kenneth Drake will start next to him in second. David Hillman in third. Cameron Merriman will start off in P4. Kenny Miller in fifth. Sean Brown starts outside of row number 3. Jacob Denny starts in P7. Trey Schmidt in P8. Ross Coronado will start in 9th. Kendall Tucker rounds out tonight's top 10.
11th, it should be Eddie Hartley, and then 12th, it's Felix Roy. 13th, Richie Preston, and 14th, it's Alex Bergeron. 15th, Aiden Byerlin. 16th, Chris Sobeski. 17th, Chase Randall. 18th, Landon Cardoza. 19th, Justin Stoltz. And 20th, Ernie Williams Jr. He rounds out the grid for 35 laps here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Well, Aiden Berlin will be fun to watch in the number 16, starting 15th. The family watching on our Facebook page from Virginia. Glad to have everybody along with us here. The dirt track at Charlotte here on iRacing live on Podium Esports, round number 10 of the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. Well, Jacob, we got a fresh track. We got the top 20 drivers. Your expectations here for this race?
We're going to be seeing that pace car or that pace truck out on the racetrack more than we anticipate. That much I know, because same thing happened at Lernerville last week. Didn't think there were going to be that many cautions, and then we sat around for a little while.
Reverse psychology now. We're going to go 35 lap screen. That's what everything has showed so far today, right?
Well, I mean, it helps when cautions have been turned off the entire way so far. So.
Ready to give away a Benjamin. $100 to tonight's winner, $50 to second, $25 for third. Thank you for coming today for everybody else who hasn't already exited the session. Jeremy St. Louis in the blue and white number 1 to lead the field to the green flag in round number 10 of the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. The run for the money starts now. Green flag in the air, St. Louis with a great jump to open things up.
And they're already almost wrecking for second. My gosh. Oh my gosh. Kenny Dick almost took out himself, Heilman, Merriman, all in one swoop as we got one in the wall already and upside down.
And that will bring out the caution. It's Trey Schmidt who went absolutely airborne. Looks like had a little bit too much coming off the corner. Lost this one all by himself.
Oh, he got a little too wide and he caught the end of the wall coming off of turn 4, turned him into the outside wall, launched him up in the air. He got punted by, I believe, Alex Bergeron, who helped kick him up into the air, and then it was just kick flips for Trey Schmidt into the catch fence he went. My goodness.
we have seen some phenomenal X Game impressions so far today, and that one might just have to be a candidate for the X Games gold medal on the day. That brings us down now to just 19 cars in the field with that ridiculous flip that we just got to witness. Meanwhile, we did get a lap in the books, though, so we will have everyone kind of single filed out, at least a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I hope Travis Pastrana's watching and taking notes on what we got here.
That is the hope. Jeremy St. Louis, though, I don't know if he wants to see more of that or less of that, but at the very least, you know, when the track is this fresh, it all comes down to what you're going to be doing on the setup. How have you had this car set up for? Because if you wanted to try to run this bottom all the way throughout, maybe you're in the least amount of danger.
If you want to run the bottom the rest of the way, that's fine, but you're not leaving here with any money.
Well, there's only three.
You can run the bottom all you want. You can run the bottom all you want, but it's not going to get you very far.
So here's a look back at our little bit of issues here. Going off to turn number 4, watch that white number 12 car on the outside. Popped him. Back to green we go on the track. Jeremy St. Louis bringing the field back to the stripe. Jacob Denny right now trying to fight through the middle of the field, middle of the pack. Diving it down to the inside, trying to get himself into the top 5.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that some of these guys are in the show, like Jacob Denny, Cameron Merriman, just because we haven't talked about them for the last hour. They won their heat and they were done. They just kind of sat around and watched everybody else try the racetrack. But now that they're out here, you can see why we haven't talked about them in a while, because they are just that good.
Oh, issues.
Caution.
And saved by the
Turn 2.
Flag.
Oh, it's Justin Stoltz.
Had a phenomenal day. If there was an actual prize purse, he would get the easy hard charger award. Winning the E, winning the D, moving on up. There is still one driver from the E, though, that will be in this race. So look back here, and a lot of damage to that turquoise number 23.
Yeah, so it starts with Felix Roy. He gets turned by the invisible boatmobile, I guess, into the outside wall, and then Stoltz just has nowhere to go but right into him. And it's such a heartbreak for them, but yeah, that's such a shame.
Well, the caution came out at a great time for Jacob Denny, who for a moment lost a plethora of positions, got a little bit out of shape in the corner. He gets all of those spots back, and that is kind of the pros and sometimes the cons of the dirt car racing. It's not like NASCAR with scoring loops. It is the last lap that you go back to. And of course, the single file restarts sometimes help out on a day like today where everyone can run seemingly 7 different lines at the same time.
And it makes our jobs a lot easier because we don't have to sort for 15 laps on who's where. It's all done for us.
That's the hope, at least. Every now and again, the things get a little bit wacky. We'll see exactly who can try to run their way through the field. It is going to be Jeremy St. Louis once again bringing the field back to green. He has led all 4 laps thus far, ready to bring the field back to green to start off lap number 5 once more. David Haleman behind him, the number 33 of Cameron Merriman, lining up in the 3rd position here. Merriman looking to pick up win number 7 all time in the series. That would tie him with Bergeron for the most wins all time in the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. Kenny Miller getting sucked into the vortex here. He's going to lose out in the top 5.
Yeah, but he's got a pretty strong car. You know, he started out in the front, so I'm not too worried about him. I think he'll be able to claw his way back up to the front. He just needs a longer run, something that we really haven't had thus far.
Kenneth Dick Jr. started 2nd. He's fallen back to the 7th position now, trying to work the cushion up to speed. A lot of guys with that right rear just setting up on the wall.
Yeah, look at him 4 wide back here. You got Alex Bergeron right behind these guys, trying to claw his way through. He's there now. He's hungry.
Bergeron looking to pick up a victory. It's been a little bit for that pro driver. He hasn't won since USA International back in the 2nd week of the series back in February. Now trying to rip the lip behind Kenny Miller in that black and blue number 12 machine. Ooh, got a little close there.
Yeah, make it a little interesting up there, you know.
A little bit. 17 cars left right now on the lead lap. Felix Roy and Trey Schmidt had their issues. Chase Randall has lost his internet connection. So 17 drivers left in the field. David Heelman has taken over the lead over Jeremy St. Louis and is now taken a 7/10 of a second lead here over the field. And now Cameron Merriman taking a shot at St. Louis, and he'll take over the second position.
Cue the Jaws music for Daniel Heilman. You know, this is exactly what we saw last week. To a T, this is exactly what we saw last week. David Heilman leading the race, Cameron Merriman in second, reeling him in, a late race caution, caused everything to be wild. Merriman was able to get the win. We are looking for back-to-back races of Heilman and Merriman here, and I love it.
Coming to complete lap number 14, 21 to go. Heilman now the 1 second lead over Merriman. Merriman won 4 races in a row, got his streak killed by Emerson Axum at Fairbury 2 weeks ago, got back in his winning ways last week, and now trying to win race number 7 of the series. As Jeremy St. Louis now just kind of watching behind them. Meanwhile, Alex Bergeron back again in another battle, this time with Jacob Denny for the 6th position, and Ross Corinta.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, look at that. 3 wide back there behind Kenny Miller with Sebeski, Bergeron, and Corinta. This is fun stuff. I mean, these guys are slipping and sliding. Jacob Denny's back here. Yeah, I mean, Bergeron slapping it into the wall. Sebeski's just in here trying to enjoy the show. It's a darn good time.
Dinner in the show right now, right? Just kind of looking on as a big slide job here. Going to be able to pass Bergeron, but Chris Sebeski, ooh, he left it all out there.
Oh, and Denny tried to slide up as well. Bergeron put the foot in the door and said, no, thank you, I'm taking this spot.
Meanwhile, Sebeski now looking towards Corinta, trying to find a way to reel in him in the 6th position on the field. More battles across this field right now. It's still a track where everyone can move around. Denny and Bergeron loses it on the inside.
Not to spoil the party, but Cameron Merriman, party of one, is closing in on Daniel Heilman right now. It's down to 7/10 of a second. A little bit of lap traffic to navigate, but oh boy.
14 laps to go in this one, and Merriman really starting to reel in that black number 33 machine to David Heilman. Still about 6/10 behind, but these two have gapped the entire field now.
Yeah, like last week, top 2 in the show, you know, just on cruise control and pulling away. And this is kind of what you expected with Heilman and Merriman out in front. We just got to see here. We got 12 to go. Got to see who's going to pull out ahead here and win this thing.
Merriman trying to continue his miraculous streak. If this was a point series, he'd be the guy that everyone would be gunning for every week, even without the payday. And he still kind of is. Coming to 10 to go this time by Merriman's gap behind Heilman is still about 7/10 of a second. Just can't quite seem to get enough here to close in on your leader. Meanwhile, for third, Jeremy St. Louis under attack as Kendall Tucker takes over third. That's 25 Buckaroos taken away by the 00. St. Louis still in trouble here.
Yeah, he's just methodically falling back. I don't know if he's just a short run car or if he picked up some damage at some point in the run or what. But it looks like the wheels have really fallen off the wagon here for Jeremy St. Louis.
Heilman got on the wall in turn number 3, lost about 4/10 to Merriman. Still able to compose himself. It's still an 8/10 gap with 7 laps to go here. Watching off the tail tank, that's the gap right there between Heilman and Merriman for $100. And the
caution, are you kidding me?
Well, that is.
Oh, it's turn 4.
The Heilman
turn 4,
it's.
see. Oh, that's Cardoza.
There's something wrong with that car. The right rear's still spinning.
Oh, Cardoza sent it in there. Oh, and he made contact with Jacob Denny and went straight up into the outside wall and rolled it over. Wow.
That's going to be a tough one to swallow. Was running fairly well. Look back here. Whoa. Yeah, sent in. I don't even know if that's the phrase we can use. I think you got to come up with a new word for that.
licked the stamp and everything.
Lick the envelope.
Yeah.
Take one more look back. Watch that white Hooters machine. If you missed it the first time. It was ambitious. Almost got it done, though.
Just misjudged it a little bit, and that's all it takes. And that's going to put him here on the outside, looking in.
So we will go back green with 6 to go. David Heilman trying to hold off Cameron Merriman. Kendall Tucker holding on to the final money spot. Kenny Miller will try to work his way up to pick up one more spot. He started up front along with Jeremy St. Louis. Ross Cornita will start off in the 6th position. Chris Sebeski in 7th. Richie Pearson 8th. Alex Bergeron 9th. Jacob Denny in 10th. 6 to go from Charlotte. Who can take home the cash and take home the victory? Back underway, and a great jump for the 29 machine.
Caught me off guard. I was on replay. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're still pacing. Oops.
Coming to 4 to go this time. Hillman almost puts it up into the wall. Half-second lead over Merriman. Meanwhile, Tucker looking for P2 on the inside.
Carincha tried to send it in on Kenny Miller, and he would have gone all the way down on the grass if it wasn't for the tractor trailer sitting down there. He saw he was heading for it and thought better of it.
3 laps to go. Merriman with his hands full, holding off Kendall Tucker, who pulls up to the tail tank. Down the back straight, Tucker trying to use that outside momentum while Heilman's trying to run away from the field. 2 laps to go from Charlotte.
Just got to make it one more time, and we are committed. If we get a caution, we'll have to do this song and dance again. Tucker and Merriman still side by side into 3.
Tucker has a nose on Merriman. That's a $25 extra payday if you can get into 2nd. White flag out. Hillman's watching that in his virtual rear view mirror. 7/10 gap. Merriman closes in. He'll have to send it here. Not going to be enough. Off of turn number 4, David Hillman takes home $100 and a win in the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series.
And a photo finish for 2nd. Merriman just beat Tucker out at the line. What a job by Merriman to hang on there on the top side. Kendall Tucker was beating it off the wall in 3 and 4, but never lifted, kept the foot down, and just came within 15 thousandths of a second on beating Merriman. But David Heilman, man, what a show.
Heilman was able to get the win today, was so close. So close last week at Lernerville, was one of the classes of the field. Takes the win today, and his second victory of the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series in his dirt racing career. Cameron Merriman falls 1 spot shy of going back-to-back once more this season. He comes home in 2nd. Kendall Tucker in 3rd. Kenny Miller in 4th. Ross Cornata in 5th. But the top 3, the only spots that pay. Jeremy St. Louis started P1. He has to settle for P6. Richie Preston starts and finishes in 7th. Chris Sebeski in 8th. Alex Bergeron brings up to 9th. And from the E-main event, he should get something. Aiden Berlin able to bring it up to P10 on the finishing order. What a run from him.
He gets a laurel and a hearty handshake. That's all he gets for finishing 10th. Jacob Denny finishes 11th. Ernie Williams 12th. Sean Brown 13th. Eddie Hartley 14th. Justin Stoltz finishes in the 15th. Landon Cardoza in 16th. Kenny Dakey in 17th. Felix Roy in 18th. Chase Randall 19th. Roy and Randall each 30 laps down. Trey Schmidt out of the race 33 laps down. And that is your finishing results here from the dirt track at Charlotte.
Boy, a phenomenal race, a phenomenal finish. First and foremost, let's go ahead and talk to your victor. David Hillman taking the victory in $100. And David, I know the last thing that you wanted to see there was a caution coming to 5 to go. Take me through that final restart and how you're able to keep everyone behind you.
All I could kind of think about was last week and how I abandoned the laying down. I mean, I should have just ran the fastest once. I was like, all right, but then that yellow, I think, actually helped because I kind of saw that laying up from the bottom in 1 and 2. And I was kind of, should I do it? Should I not? I don't know. Because that's what happened last week, trying to kind of protect the bottom. This track's very similar to Lernerville, honestly, where it was just because you can slide and protect in 3 and 4 so much. And It's kind of the preferred lane, but I guess we guessed right. I was like, don't make the same mistake. But I was like, I've seen it happen enough. I was like, no, it's different track, different circumstances. I don't know. It was weird with the reset. Charlotte, it's never that great. Didn't seem that good. Brewers get another home run. Brad Sweet won. I could hear the race in my ears. I heard he won, and I was like, well, dang it. I better finish this one off finally. About darn time. I think it was 2 seconds now. We were ringing in some other leagues. Finally got one done. Kind of coming around towards the end of the season, putting in a little more effort. Kind of paying off, I guess.
2 world championship drivers behind you on a track where it seemed like there's probably about 8 viable lanes that people were using across the field.
First off, they might be world championship drivers, but I was the only world champion in that top 3, all right? Don't underestimate my USAC, the Wheelman's Championship, the USAC World Championship.
Hey,
I wasn't sweating.
I was getting to that because what I was going to say was it takes skill, even in the wing car, to find where you need to be on this track. How do you take your past background and apply it to this to hold them back and grab yourself a victory?
It was kind of just that. It was where the past background, I felt kind of cost me last week because, I like it. I said I didn't love the track tonight. I was probably full throttle 3/4 of it, but it does give you different tracks than your standard boring Charlotte that would have been. And even like last week we saw that where, because of my experience, I didn't trust that line was going to stay around because you don't normally run that line that much. And I kind of expected the same thing this week. As soon as I kind of found that middle, I was like, all right, we'll keep track of how slick the top gets. Because normal me with the thousands of laps here, probably I would say, all right, no, it's going to go top, and I'd leave that line. Where tonight I just kind of tried to trust it, and I had to kind of act like it was my first time, whole new track, because like I said, not a lot of leagues reset tracks like this, not even officials. So it's a real toss-up, and it really kind of came down like a start of the race where I was able to get into second at least ahead of Cam, and I knew it'd kind of be between which one of us got out front for at least the first half of the race, and we were able to do that and hang on.
Well, able to bring it home, hold on, like you said, for the win, $100. Who do you have to thank for coming on out here and getting yourself a payday?
Yeah, I'm glad I took off of work a half hour early. I was like, so I better bring some money home at least to offset it. But it's thanks for Brody putting this on. Shout out to all guys at Slick Sim Sport, Podium. Just really, get momentum. I guess it really is a momentum thing. We race so much here. You win, you lose to the same guys a lot, but once you start winning one, it seems like they're just kind of all falling into place for a while now. So hey, we're just gonna keep riding this wave.
Well, David, congratulations. Use that $100 wisely since you had to take it from work, basically. Best of luck to you the next coming weeks, David. Congratulations again here in Charlotte. I'm
donating to hot tub streamers.
Sounds good to me. Your top finisher on the day, taking home $100. All right, let's go to give it to Jacob Hitz. He's caught up with your second place finisher, Cameron Merriman.
Well, Cameron, it may not be the exact result that you were looking for, but a second place finish nonetheless. Take us through your night, because it seemed like a lot of cat and mouse, with you being the cat and David Heilman being the mouse.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I had a really good heat race result. Kendall and I, it's funny, Kendall ended up managing to come up to third right behind me and gave me a really good run for second. So he and I were running really close in the heat race, and I came out the better end of that, which put me in a good starting spot for the feature race. And with the track prep, we got to run 3 minutes of warm up, and it's Charlotte in the daytime with the sun bearing down. I really thought that the track was just going to completely blow off. So we got a call from the spotter, iRacing spotter came over the mic when I was racing David there and said that there was 10 laps left. And I was like beside myself, couldn't believe it, because the track still had so many lanes and so much moisture left in it. I think Charlotte is one of these rather notorious tracks that, it slicks off quickly. And once it does, you got to find yourself around the cushion. And it definitely was not that way tonight. I was trying to chase down David and find some kind of pace on him. So I started running the absolute, very top around 1 and 2. And I ended up getting myself snookered into a race with Kendall. So I ended up losing a bit of time on David for that. But yeah, definitely a very unique Charlotte experience in that respect. That we didn't have the typical lane development. We ended up riding the middle and kind of crossover running the bottom out of 2. There were a lot of unique aspects of tonight's race that you would not find in any of our other league races or official races that we prepare for. So that made you have to be a little light on your toes and just kind of getting the vibe lap by lap. And in that respect, the race kind of flew by and found myself not really in a position to run David for the win there. Just kind of ran out of time. But obviously he had great pace and didn't make hardly any mistakes up front. So can't fault him for that.
And before we send you on your way here, anybody you want to thank, say hi to?
I'd just like to thank Brody for putting this thing on and all the guys coming around and, especially David and Kendall and St. Louis there. We had some really good races. So I want to thank my competitors for putting on an awesome show. Had a lot of fun tonight and you guys obviously for running the broadcast and inviting me up to chat. So appreciate it, guys. And hopefully I'll chat with you again soon.
Cameron Merriman, your second place finisher here at the dirt track at Charlotte. And just an update for whomever was watching the Nationals game, extra innings, tied at 2.
A fun one to tune to, but first we will tune to your third place finisher, Kendall Tucker, able to bring it home in third. But first and foremost, Kendall, take me through that final battle. You and Cameron were duking it out there after that final restart, gunning for that extra $25 for second place.
Yeah, we definitely had a good battle there with Cam for second there at the end. Luckily got that caution to bunch us back up and see what I had for those guys. But the car was really good. I got into the wall and kind of halfway towards the race, and I feel like I might have got a little bit of suspension damage because the car was just was pretty tight through the center of the corner on both ends. But I don't know, maybe it was just a setup. One or the other just. But, starting 10th and to get up to third, we was battling for second there is not bad. Just wish we could have been a couple spots better and picked up a win.
Yeah, started 10th. He had that damage like you mentioned. So how tough was it to come through the field today as that track continued to evolve but still have so much moisture all around the track?
Yeah, luckily the track was really racy. The reset before the feature there was definitely a good call. The track seemed to be holding a lot of moisture, in the middle to bottom part of the racetrack, from what I can tell. But I don't know, this was the first Charlotte race I've ran in a while on a 410, and it's the track. I mean, it was really racy. I was able to make some moves on the bottom there at the beginning of the race, and once that decided to wear out a little bit, I moved to the middle and then eventually up to the top, and the car was fairly maneuverable, throughout all lanes of the racetrack. So that's really all I could ask for. Just wish I wouldn't have gotten to the wall to get that damage, but we might have had a little more speed, but third against these guys isn't a bad run.
Yeah, Kendall, definitely a good showing and put on a good show for everyone watching at home. Who do you have to thank for going from 10th to third and grab $25 today at Charlotte?
Yeah, just, my guys at Swindle Speed Lab and Slick Sim Sport for all the help. Caitlin Erskier, Bear Archery, 127 Industries, Dominator Racing Graphics, all the guys at DSCCS for the league, and, all the guys at Podium Esports for the broadcast. And, hopefully we'll be able to catch a couple more of these races here to finish out the season. I haven't really been running this series much this season, unfortunately. Just I haven't had just had some time conflicts with other races and stuff on Wednesday nights, but luckily we was able to get out here early and grab a spot in the pits. So it feels good to get a podium with this series. It's always a tough one to come out to and race. One of the toughest formats for sure. You have to qualify good, and you can't get behind in your heat race because you'll be stuck in a consi, and you definitely never want to be in that situation. So luckily I was able to transfer there through the heat and pass some cars in the A.
Well, Kendall, congratulations. We hope to see you a few more weeks out of the rest of the season. Enjoy that $25, sir.
All right, appreciate it.
Kendall Tucker, your third place finisher here at Charlotte. Well, if you like the chaoticness there, we are going to have another dirt race here on Podium Esports, specifically Podium 2 and the Facebook page later on this week. But before we get there, we're going road course racing this Friday. The hashtag NextGen Fast Friday, round number 2, presented by Maconi Setup Shop. Going to the Charlotte Roval Friday, 9:30 Eastern on Podium Esports Twitch. And then the MPI Cup Series, the first race of the round of 12, I should say, at Iowa, Sunday at 9:15 Eastern, also on the Podium Esports Twitch. And then we're going dirt racing. Monday Night Racing featuring Anthony Alfredo, David Schildhouse, Kyle Busch, Ron Capps, Chad Reed, you name them, they got them. Monday, The NASCAR trucks at Bristol Dirt, Monday, 8 Eastern on Podium 2 right here. And then the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series is back, and they are hitting the circuit of the Americas. Tuesday, May 18th, 8:30 Eastern on the iRacing Twitch account. Then, of course, PCA Sim Racing back in action for Series 6. They will be performing on their own YouTube channel at PCA Sim Racing. And then the 2021 Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series is back at one of my favorite tracks on the service, going down to Kokomo. That'll be next Wednesday, 9 Eastern, here on Podium 2. Well, Jacob, this one was ridiculous. It was intense. And it came down to some great racing in the A feature to settle off this one.
Really a fantastic show by all the guys out on the racetrack. This, the calling dirt the last 2 weeks has been some of the most fun I've ever had calling stuff. It is absolutely incredible to sit down and watch this, and I'm sure we'll have the Beach Boys playing nonstop next week, or at Kokomo we'll have that song on repeat. So it'll be fun to watch next week. There's no doubt about it.
Congratulations to your 2 Podium Esports Hard Chargers. Chris Sebeski went from 16th to 8th. And Ernie Williams Jr. started 20th, brought up to the 12th position. Well, that will do it from the virtual dirt track at Charlotte for another great race here in the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series. For Brody Wilhelm at the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series, for Ryan Bauer, James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore at Podium Esports. For my good buddy Jacob Hitch right here in the booth, and also tonight's great producer Zach Johnson jumping in, and our camera creator Dougie Beard, I am Devin Henry. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast. We will see you again next Wednesday for some more dirt track action from Kokomo. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.